Howdy all, welcome back to Lives. I think it's time we play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright, so I have got piles of stuff I need to deal with here. I don't have enough room in my food area for my food. I was gonna say, didn't I grab some potatoes? Guess let's move this stuff up out of food. You'll be plants. You can go in my inventory. And I will just eat this stuff. Medical supply. You're kind of an item thing. Sorry, a spot for you. Kind of an item thing. Oh, there's already a spot for you. Don't even know why I have you. Ooh, wow, not spots for you guys. That's crazy. Electrical parts will go in there. Hides will go... Oh, there's not a spot for hides either. Wow. Plastics? Casino tokens. Alright. Meat. Eggs. Scrap these. Bandages can stay with me. Oh, I'm out of wood. Right. Okay, gotcha. Alright. Alright. We're heading in the right direction here. Okay. So, here, you can have these and these and this. You can move up here. Let's go ahead and cook that in a bottled water. I am gonna go grab some wood then. To start our day off with. Yeah, what we do? We finished the little. Man, this is really loud. Let me turn the volume down on this a bit. We hit the little town, except for like the missile. That's a little too low. Except for the missile silo, because those things are just a nightmare to deal with. But there is a town this way I want to check out, and so that's probably where we'll head next as soon as I finish getting some supplies put together here. One of the supplies, of course, is wood, because, you know, I'm out and kind of need that. I should repair my axe. Repair. There we go. If I had more supplies, I would just make some new ones, but supplies are still a tad bit limited for me. Okay, and then that will allow me to get rid of these. I have not found... Okay, and then let's drink... we're pretty good food and water at the moment, so let me get enough. To make a new bedroll, because there's no way I want to die and have to run back all the way from here. And we want to go this way. Alright, now we can head off and see what we can see. So I'm sitting around. This weekend was really quiet. Nobody was home most days, and niece, nephew, sister, her husband, they all went off to a thing in another state, so they were not home. Man, you know what? My table is weird. There we go. I have a little table I made that I slide around depending on how I need to use it, and it was off to the right by about 6 inches from where I like it. So was giving my mouse some issues because it's specifically my computer table. It is just my computer, like keyboards and mouse and stuff. And so having that in the wrong spot means my mouse was hanging off the edge of its mouse pad. Oh, I ran out of stamina. I'm like, what is going on? I know it's a hill, but come on, man. In fact, we've got stuff specifically to take care of that kind of thing. So let's do that. So yeah, so I wound up not having too much to do really, other than getting through work, and so I was kind of looking around for dude, I have like meat and stuff in here I should have taken with me. Look at all this stuff. I have to remember that on the way back. And so I'm trying to think of what I watched. All right, I remember the one thing I watched I was going to talk about, but I watched that like yesterday. So what did I watch? I watched a show called American Vandal, which I may have already talked about. I don't remember. It was alright. It was kind of a mockumentary. Like, you know, it's a show that looks like a documentary. But it was a story about a kid who got kicked out of school for vandalizing some cars, and he didn't do it. And so the documentary was the guy trying to find the evidence to show whether or not this kid actually did it, because he didn't know whether the kid had done it or not, because it was something the kid would do. Just in this instance, he didn't do it. It was pretty good. It wasn't great. I enjoyed it. Not like, oh man, I really like that, but it was like, all right, yeah, it's not bad. And they used to have I have it written down somewhere, but I used to rate things you know, when someone would ask me what I thought about something. I used an 11-point scale because like Netflix used to have the 5-star rating, and I didn't like it because it was like, or no, did they have 5 stars? I think it was 5 stars, because their stars were like hated it, didn't like it, liked it. I'm like, okay, where's the one in the middle that's like, yeah, this is okay. Like, I didn't like it, I didn't hate it, it's alright. And so I increased the scale to 11 points. Because there's some things that are just like amazing, and there are things that are like, I hate that thing most of all. Like, if I ever have to see that again, I will murder the disc it's on. There aren't too many things that are that bad, but I have come across some horrible things that I never want to see again. What was his name? I want to say Leslie Nielsen. I hate that kind of humor, so his stuff makes it on the list of things I never want to see again. You know, like Loaded Gun 33 1/3 or whatever it's called, and I remember he had one, like, I used to watch all the new releases when they came out. Maybe not all of them, but, you know, a bunch of them back when I had way more free time. And my local video rental place was still in business. Oh, you know what? I totally need to find a spot here to call base. We got a ladder up out of here? No. Okay, well, I can't get on the roof of this place, so you are not base. Man, so I've seen hundreds, thousands of movies, easily thousands of movies, probably. And I'll tell you what, the last movie I saw of his, I tried to watch it. Like, I've seen the Loaded Gun movies and I hated them. But, you know, just because I feel like I'm hating something while I'm watching it doesn't mean that by the end of it I'll still hate it. So I will, give me a second here. So I will, sorry, I had to switch some stuff that's running in the background. Uh, you know, so I'll watch something and be like, this is not good, and then like a quarter of the way through or halfway through, all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, this, I take it back, this is awesome. I didn't get the beginning of it, but now that I understand what's going on, this is amazing. You know, oh, look at that, it's a seat. And so, you know, I usually try to give things a chance. Now this place has got like another floor up there. Did that one? That one didn't. This one does, though. Is there a ladder up to that floor? No. Weird. 1, 2, 3. You know what? That one does too, but there's no ladder up there. Huh. Like I said before, I could make a ladder. Maybe I should make a ladder. Maybe I should just pick this place here. And I'll make some ladders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ladders, it looks like. Ladder. I would like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ladders, please. And, so, you know, it's... I don't even know where I got off on this thing. Why was I talking about ratings? Oh, because I was talking about American Vandal. Right. It was alright. You know, it made me have, I don't want to say nostalgic feelings, because usually nostalgia is associated with something good, but it made me remember what it was like to be in high school. I was not the kid who would do the things that this kid did, that he got in trouble for, but I did get in trouble occasionally in high school and junior high. The problem is that it wasn't, I actually didn't do anything. But I always got in trouble for stuff. I don't know why. It was always assumed. It kind of feels like it's been that way most of my life. I don't do things. Like, I'm a lazy slacker who can't be bothered to do things. And, you know, and then they're like, an entire year's worth of curriculum answer keys are missing. And I must have done it. I got in so much trouble for that. And then I'm like, yeah, no, that wasn't me. Why would I cheat? I get good grades. I don't, and you know, I speak English. I don't need to cheat on how the English language works. Thanks. And it wasn't even like, it wasn't me. It was like, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it wasn't me. What I meant was, it wasn't even like in the grade I was in. It was like 2 years above me. And they're just like, oh, well, you know, he's stealing these so he can keep his good grades in 2 years. Like, there's no even logical thought process that goes behind that. And And so this American Vandal was kind of like that. It was, you know, he had access, and it's something. Although I would never steal keys like that. I I just didn't cheat on stuff. I didn't need to. And but and you know what was the most ridiculous thing is that they did finally find out who did it, and they didn't even really get in trouble for it. They were going to kick me out of school, even though they couldn't find any proof. It was at the point where they were debating whether or not to kick me out of this school for stealing these keys because I wouldn't admit that I had taken them. And they finally actually figured out who had them. And they didn't even get in trouble. They just changed the curriculum. And I'm like, seriously, this is so ridiculous. It was like that all through high school for me and junior high. I really... so watching that show, I was just like, oh man, I know what that's like. The principal and two of the teachers had it in for me. So I was always getting blamed for stuff. Although, you know, it was the same way in my family. Anytime anything happened, somehow I got blamed for it, even though I wouldn't do any of that kind of stuff. You know, it's always been bizarre. People always believe I'm lying to them. They question everything I say. I don't get it. I die. But yeah, so American Vandal, it was interesting. Like I said, if I had to give it my 11 point system, I'd probably give it a 6. It's a little better than okay. And then so I was busy with something, and then I watched a documentary. An actual documentary that was probably more a 5 than a 6. It sounded like it was going to be interesting. It was about a guy who got shot, and then they didn't press charges against the guy who shot him. And so that sounded interesting to me, because I really like that, you know, corrupt crime stuff. Not so much like on the side of the criminals, but on the side of law. And because that's stuff I've dealt with in my real life too. Ooh, look, this is the best meat stew ever. Not only has that meat stew been in a refrigerator since the zombie apocalypse, and I know I joke about have joked about the blueberry pies and how gross blueberry pies have to be when you just find them in a refrigerator, but you can't tell me that that's still sealed in the box from the factory meat pie there isn't old. 'Cause how long has it been that this city looks like this? Like, if it got bombed, you know, I mean, I just ate something that was probably been in there for 15 years. I was gonna fight that zombie, but he doesn't want to fight me. He's just leaving. Where are the stores? I'm here for stores. I put down a bedroll, right? Yeah, okay. I just realized I might be running around risking my life here with no recourse. But so, that was okay. It literally was what I just said, though. it just was. It was like by the dude's sister, and it's 22 years later, and it's just about her family and a recap of what happened, which was he got shot, and the grand jury decided not to press charges. You don't find out anything. There's barely a story that you learn from it. Oh, that takes duct tape. Pretty sure I can make a splint without duct tape. Don't be wasting my duct tape. And I watched something else. What was the? Oh, I watched a movie that Netflix keeps suggesting to me. Like I watched. You get if you have Netflix, you know they send you the emails like this is something you might like. Ooh, this is something you might like that's now on Netflix. And so they kept telling me about like American Vandal. Please give me control of my guy again. Thank you. That zombie didn't have clothes on. But so they kept suggesting this reality high show, and so put that on. But I was playing a video game at the same time, so I wasn't really paying attention. I mean, I watched it, I paid attention to what was going on, but I wasn't paying attention to the fact that I didn't enjoy it. And I realized this was a stupid movie once it got over. It was basically the tropey. Apparently, I am not hungry. It was the tropey nerdy girl gets made over by the mean girls and starts to become a mean girl, and then the mean girls turn on her, and you know, I mean that's like every high school movie ever, right? And but it's that, and I don't know why Netflix thought I would like it because I didn't. And then they kept suggesting this other one to me called The Good Place. And I was a little leery about that one because it didn't seem like something I would enjoy. And there were a lot of zombies hanging out in that room. And so I wasn't too sure if I wanted to watch it or not. It's a woman dies and winds up in the good place, but there's been a mistake and she doesn't belong there. And so I'm like, all right, well, I will give it a gander, I guess. I actually enjoyed that one. That one was pretty funny. It started a little slow, but by like the third episode, I think I was really enjoying it, and then by the end of it, it was pretty funny. I really like there's like a little twist in it, but I didn't see it coming, and it made me laugh. It was funny. I'd probably give that one like a 8 out of 11. I don't remember what my scale is. There were levels to it, so there was like okay was a 5, like or not bad. I think not bad was 5, okay was 6. It was all right. It was like a 7. I liked it. It was like an 8. That was pretty good. It was like a 9. You know. I don't remember, but I need to repair this guy. I need to just make a new one. Wait, can't I just make a new one? I was thinking I needed a workbench for that. But yeah, it was pretty funny. They mistake her for another woman with the same name, is what happens. And so she wants to be in the good place. And so there are neighborhoods, and each neighborhood is limited to 322 people. And your soulmate lives there, and so you'll be with your soulmate forever. Um, uh, and your house is exactly what you would want from a house, and decorated in the exact way you want, and stuff like that. And so you just live in these little neighborhoods with other people that you would get along with, and everything is picked out to be perfectly identical to, or not perfectly planned, I guess is what I meant. And so she's not who they think she is. And so because she is not the perfectly planned member of this community, the actual world has fall apart issues, like giant frogs appear and garbage rains from the sky, and a hole opens up and threatens to consume the town and stuff like that. But it's pretty funny. It has a good cast. Ted Danson's in it. Oh man, I can't remember what her name is. I remember Ted Danson because, well, he's been around forever. She's been around forever too, and I can think of her husband as Dax Shepard. Because I used to watch a show with him on it, but I don't think I've watched too many shows with her on it. She's actually pretty funny in it. I didn't think I liked her, but she was pretty funny in this one. They were the only two I really knew. Seriously? I don't have all the painting things learned, so obviously the painting thing I learn or find has got to be one I already know. But yeah, it was a pleasant surprise. I liked it. I am looking forward to season 2 if they have one. It's Netflix, so they probably will. I read a thing the other day about how Netflix is really reticent to cancel series until they finish the storyline, which is nice because most places are just like, nah, we didn't get good enough ratings, dump it. But our last episode is a cliffhanger. Yeah, who cares? Dump it. Well, could we just get like a second half of the... Nope. We're ending it right here at the cliffhanger. No one will ever know what happened. We don't care about the viewers. We just care about the ratings. And not even... Alright, this is going to get me on a little rant here, I think. Not even whether or not the ratings were good, just that they were just okay. Like, we thought the ratings were going to be better, and they're not as good as we expected. They're still good, they're just not as good as we wanted, so we're going to cancel it, even though we also have a cliffhanger for this thing. I've seen that happen. I didn't realize how stupid companies are when it comes to that until I started reading comic books. This is why it's going to get off on a little rant. So I and one of my friends, he suggested that we read all of the DC comics because DC was having a reboot. Every comic rebooting from issue number 1. Which they have now gone back on a bit, which makes for some really terrible storylines, let me tell you. But, so, we start reading the comics, and they do this thing where they start all the stories over, but 2 of the comic book series refuse. Holy horde. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Was not expecting half of the population, zombie population in this town to suddenly decide to come into the daycare. I'm pretty sure I just got hit by a horde. Look at them all. You're like a little horde. It's not day 7, is it? I guess I don't even know what day it is. Day 3. I'm being attacked by a horde on day 3. I forget what these are called. They have a name. So we start reading the comics, and we have, everybody's taste is individual, so I'm not saying that the comics I hate deserve to be canceled. I do, however, feel that the comics I like shouldn't be canceled. If I don't like a comic, I don't have to read it. And, well, except I do have to read it because we read all the DC comics and then comment on how much we liked or disliked them. And talk about the storylines. And it's kind of like a book club, but for comics. And so, because of this, we don't do it so much anymore, but there was a point where they were canceling comics, like comics that we really liked, and we were trying to figure out why. And so they, we started looking at the sales, because that's a list you can find online. And so we would look to see why a comic was being canceled. And it made me so mad because I'd find that a really stupid comic that I hated was selling like 14 out of the 52 comics. Out of the 52 comics, it was 0 or 1, whatever, at the bottom of the list of sales. But the comic that I liked that they were canceling was like 15th from the top. And their news article was like, the comic isn't selling as well as we had hoped. So we're canceling this title to, make room for more titles. Because that was their thing. They were going to keep 52 comics. And then just week after week would just still be the same stupid comic at the bottom of the list, not selling comics, and they would just keep canceling comics that I liked. Oh, yeah. I'm like, what kind of ridiculous politics is going into this? Because your lies in the paper about why you're canceling these, I can look up that's not true, right? I can see that you're lying. But yeah, I'm sure the TV stuff is the same way. Oh, what's that? Well, it's like let's talk about an old favorite. Firefly. Firefly was moderately popular when it was on, and it wasn't amazingly popular when it was on. It was amazingly popular after it got canceled, but it was doing well enough that they decided to use it to try to compete against other popular shows. And so they did this thing that I despise, where they take a show that's doing really well on a certain night and time, and they move it into a spot against another really popular show on a different night and time. And so Firefly actually wound up on like 3 or 4 different days and times before it was finally canceled after one season, because they were trying to use it to lower the popularity of other shows. And I hate that stuff. I hate it. I see they're doing it to Gotham this season. Gotham is changing nights and times and moving into a time slot to compete against other popular shows, which means that they don't want to do it anymore, but it's too popular to cancel without outrage. So they're going to move it to a slot where they know it can't do as well, so that they can get it canceled probably. That's what I feel. Anyways, with that, I'm going to put a storage chest down here so I can... Oh, can we just go with a box? Is the box bigger than a chest? I'm going to go with this box. Yeah, so with that, I'm going to call it a day. So click like, subscribe, share, and catch the next one. And I will talk to you later.